I try to remain and get comfortable in that state, because at first it is very uncomfortable and weird. As it becomes more comfortable and familiar, I naturally remain effortlessly present, resting in the peace and joy of the self. I have transcended the mind, and it can no longer bother me. By going beyond the mind, I have gone beyond suffering. We have experienced this state, most of us, probably everyone in here, at one time or another, where you came into pure presence. And it could have been a nature moment, or the birth of a child, or a wedding, or a divorce, I don't know. Where whatever was happening in that moment was so important or so beautiful that all other moments fell away. No other moment was so important than this moment was so important. And in that moment, you experience the peace and joy of the self, unobstructed by the mind. And then the moment was over and the mind came back knocking, and that was over. We're very much used to being in the negative, upset, neurotic, stirred up, egoically identified with mind state. We're very practiced in that. We're very good at it. We're great sufferers. We're Olympic quality sufferers, and we're really good at it. And so when you start to step out of that, because for most people what I'm describing is like turning their life on upside down. You know what I mean? If I put your life on your head and say, here, this is what it looks like, you know what I mean? It's the opposite of what you've been experiencing and what you've been doing. So it takes time for you to get comfortable in that. Which is why we try to come into these very pristine circumstances where it's easier for us to get into those states so that we can experience directly those states for ourselves, okay? And get comfortable in that state. At first it's uncomfortable. When you're smoking and you stop smoking, it's uncomfortable to not smoke. And then it's really comfortable. At first it will seem odd. It will feel like you have your shoes on the wrong feet, No past, no future, present in the moment, not thinking constantly. Not having your mind just waterboard you with useless information and opinions and garbage over and over and over again. You have to get used to being without all that, because for most of your life, you that's what you've been practicing, and so you're very good at it. And your mind, your neurology, and your biology is wired for that. And there are scientific experiments that are showing that when you're in meditation, you are, rewiring your mind, your brain changes, different parts of your mind grow, your brain grows, you know what I mean? So, which makes perfect sense. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's out there. The studies are out, but who cares about science even too? You know what I mean? Like, people put so much weight on science. Science is interesting. I'm very much into science, but science is wrong constantly. Science just has the luxury of amending itself over and over again. Science is right until somebody proves it wrong, and then they're constantly changing the way they're thinking. If you start thinking about this too much, what's the scientific evidence? You're just going to stay trapped in your mind about it. If you experience it directly, you won't need, want, or desire any explanation. You won't need it. Yeah. Oh yeah, it shows. Yeah. There was a guy named, I think it was Matthew Ricard. Have you ever heard of a monk named Matthew Ricard? He's a French monk, and he's regarded as the happiest person in the world, right? And what they did was, they hooked his brain up to 1 million wires, and they had him go into meditation, and like the beta waves, I think, in his brain were like off the charts. They couldn't even measure them. Buddhist monk. I don't know what part of Buddhism, but um, it's fascinating. Yeah, and but here's the thing: is like me, um, a student, Dave. I don't know if he's watching. Once dubbed me the practical Buddha. You know, and I am here, don't make this more complicated than it is. The Zen cards that are out there are the key. Eat right, exercise, hydrate, meditate, keep your house clean, pay your bills on time, the laundry done, the dishes done, and stay in that practice. And you will slowly come out of identification with mind. Don't, what your mind is going to want to do is figure it out. And why is this work? And why is it? Forget about all that. It's going to keep you trapped in your mind. Sit on the damn cushion and meditate. There are so many people that come here, that love coming here, that don't friggin' meditate on their own. It drives me crazy because you're missing it. You come here, this is a nice energy. There's nice people here. The energy of the Duncan Center is beautiful. And you walk away feeling great. And then you forget your damn practice. It drives me crazy.
You like the Headspace app?
I'm not that familiar with it. But again, you don't need an app. Go sit under a tree. I'm not kidding. Yeah. I mean, really, your mind is going to want to weigh and all this other stuff. But the truth is that if you can sit still under a tree and just breathe and be and not think, you're doing something that 99.9% of people can't do.